live like crazy. It's already started off tremendously well. All right, so first thing y'all may notice is that MJ is not here with us right now because he forgot his charger at work. His laptop was at like 2%. So right now, it's just me. It's just me. Oh, and thankfully we have Rob about to join us. So Richie, if you could get Rob into the room right now, it'd be great. What's going on, Rob? How are you, man?
What up, Bruce? How's it going?
Not much, man. So it's actually pretty funny. Got a good story. See, it's perfect because every time you come on, it's like there's always some kind of shenanigans. Uh, so unfortunately, MJ left his charger at work and his laptop died. So he's currently scrambling right now to get his charger and to jump on with us. So you should expect him to come on any moment with us, though, just so you know. Okay.
Okay, that's cool. All
Perfect.
good.
So well, first of all, how you doing, man? How's life?
Life's great. No complaints. Just chugging along through the season. It's hit a bit of a dog days stretch for the Bulls, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, everything's cool. How about y'all? How's it going over here?
Yeah, no complaints, man. We got some logs on the fire, and we're just going away to see what happens, man. See what happens. So I guess we should just dive right into this Bulls talk, right?
100%.
Uh, so the first thing we have to address is the news that we got today about Lonzo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, they thought it was just a bone bruise, if I'm correct on that. But I guess it's much more. So can you elaborate what's going to be done and what the injury is for us, please, Rob?
Yeah, it's gone through a couple different. I don't even want to say diagnoses, but just a couple different phases. It started as okay, we're holding them out of the Boston game, which was 3 games ago. Hey, there we go.
Whoa, whoa! What's
Oh
going?
my goodness!
Whoa,
What are
Richie,
you doing, Richie? Stop,
Richie.
Richie.
This is great. Sorry, Rob.
There we go.
Go
There
ahead.
we
Hi,
go.
Rob.
There we go. No, new background, MJ. That looks nice.
Yes, I moved.
All right.
Anyway,
I think, it
continue
was,
as you were.
I think it was a bunk bed the last time I was on. So
Yeah, you are correct, and
moving
I'm
in the
very
right
happy
direction.
it's not a bunk bed anymore.
Beautiful. Yeah, Lonzo stuff. So yeah, it started as kind of like a knee pain, knee soreness type of situation. Moved to what the team called a bone contusion for about a day or two. That's pretty vague. And then obviously today, I think it was first reported by Shams Charania of the Athletic that what it turned out was up with Lonzo after some medical consultation was that he had a small meniscus tear in his left knee. I had my eyebrows raised. I think a lot of people had their eyebrows raised back when it was just, a vague left knee ailment because Lonzo has had a minor tear in that knee before. He had surgery on it in 2018 when he was with the Lakers. He didn't miss any in-season time because it happened during the offseason. And it was, I think, the shorter end of in terms of a recovery. He was back for the season opener that year. But my alarm bells were kind of off after, it was a knee issue. Comes to light that it is a meniscus tear. Then there's the question of, okay, do we try to treat it? It's minor, so do we try to treat it and play through it, or do we just give him surgery, see if we can get this thing fully healed? And maybe it's a month or 2 months away. Turns out what they opted for was surgery. So Lonzo is, for the second time in his career, at only age 24, he's going to have arthroscopic surgery on that left knee. Wow. 6 to 8 week return timeline for the Bulls. That's what the Bulls said. I should say that's the official team timeline. So that would, if all goes well, bring him back sometime in early to mid-March. Which all things considered, I don't think it's the end of the world. It's not season ending. At this point, if all goes well, he could be back a month and a half before the playoffs, somewhere between 15 and 20 games. The Bulls are still well positioned in that regard and have some good guard depth to hopefully tide them over. So not the end of the world, especially if this can, nip this in the bud and get him fully healthy. We got to see how he responds to the surgery and rehab and things like that. But that's the situation. The Bulls will certainly miss him. But for the next month and a half to 2 months, he'll be on the shelf, and it'll be up to guys like Kobe White and I would assume to continue to fill in.
Right. So on the same lines as that, Derek Jones Jr. played about 30, 35 seconds in that Brooklyn Nets blowout. Is there any update as to how he's doing and how his rehab's going or anything like that?
No, hasn't been an update on him recently. I think he's still probably weeks away. The guy I'd be watching more closely is Javonte Green. There's nothing really substantive on him either at this point, but he is, the team had put a 2 to 4 week timeline on his return. He's a little over 2 weeks into that.
Okay.
So he was dealing with a groin issue, which could be a little bit more pervasive. The last we heard of him, he was, practicing the G League team, getting some work in on the court. But the Bulls haven't been able to fully ramp him up yet because he still has some pain or some stress in that groin area. It's a right adductor strain, I think is the official term for it. So he's a guy I'd be watching more before Derek Jones Jr. Obviously they got Caruso back the other night. That's a big guy to get back. No updates on those guys. And then Zach Levine is another one to watch. He is out with knee pain, knee soreness, some swelling that pulled him out of the Warriors game.
Right.
But he has progressed, according to Billy Donovan, he's progressed a lot in a lot more positive fashion than Lonzo. He's out for this 3-game road trip that the Bulls are on. They're fortunate. 2 of these games are going to be against Orlando and Oklahoma City. So you hope even shorthanded, you could bank wins there. And then his window, I think, will open when the Bulls come back home. They have a makeup game against Toronto next Wednesday in Chicago. So I don't know if he will be back by then, but that's when you should start looking for Zach to potentially be back. And at that point, it's the one, again, this is, I'm trying to spin it positive because I know people are a little down about the Lonzo thing, but this is not a Bulls team like in past years where one injury is going to derail the entire operation. They do have some depth. They've got, multiple all-star level scorers when Nikola Vucevic is playing well that can tide them over. And the development from Kobe and Io this year really, really helped the backcourt. And you have to hope that can just get you through this next 3 to 6 week stretch where they're going to be without guys. So we'll see how they're able to do that.
So to follow up the Zach Levine situation, was that, I know, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, what was it his ACL knee that there was swelling in?
Yeah. And so that's again, alarm bells go off.
Yeah. It
looks like they've dodged anything serious with Zach. And honestly, I think things could have been worse with Lonzo too. The fact that it's only a small tear and it's not season ending. So yeah, that was cause for concern with Zach, but they immediately got the MRI done and it doesn't sound like it's anything that should keep him out longer than, another week or two. But we'll see.
Fair enough.
So Rob, you mentioned a couple names that are going to have to step up in the absence of Lonzo and Zach Levine, all the injuries the Bulls have been having. Who excites you the most specifically that is going to have a bigger role in the next few weeks?
It's got to be Io. I mean, Kobe's playing incredibly well. Don't want to take anything away from him. Happy to talk about him. But Io, his development, I think, has just blown me away. I think it's blown a lot of Bulls fans away. He especially because at the start of the season, he was picking his spots offensively, playing off the ball, catch and shoot, slashing, taking the right shots, making a lot of them. And it was great. And defensively showed some signs of progress in the finishing area and in terms of driving, which he struggled a little bit with in summer league. Now, with this most recent stretch of how shorthanded the Bulls are, he's been taking on point guard responsibilities, handling the ball, playmaking for others. Since he entered the starting lineup, he's averaging 18, 8 assists, 5 boards, and 2 steals. I mean, that's unbelievable. And shooting something ridiculous, like 77% from the field, because he's just been so outrageously efficient in terms of picking the right shots. So for him, because of, I think, a lot of people's expectations on Io were modest coming in this year, second-round pick, team with a lot of guards, a lot of guard depth. It was going to be tough for him to break through. Summer League, he looked like somebody that, had promise, but maybe was going to have to spend some time in the G League this year. He's been on a steady upward trajectory ever since then. Stood out in preseason, cracks the rotation a couple games in the regular season. Really, is their 6th or 7th, guy in terms of reliability. And now is, going to be starting at least until Zach gets back, and then it'll be a matter of, okay, do you start Kobe or Io next to Zach? That'll be a decision Billy Donovan will have to make. But for him, just given how every time he's gotten more opportunity, he's ascended even higher than you could have expected him to. I got to say he's the most exciting guy because I'm just curious to see where he goes next. He's a real gem that the Bulls have found in the second round. I mean, those are a lot of times those picks, once you get past the low 30s, even the late 20s, they can be total dart throws, total throwaways. And this guy is like a complete rotation mainstay. Like, what would you do without him where would the Bulls be without him type of player. So he's the guy I'm most excited to see how he continues to trend with more minutes, because he was in the low 20s in his initial rotation stay. Now he's going to be up playing starter level minutes 30 to 35. So we'll see how he runs with that opportunity.
I know that's Bruce's favorite guy.
Dude, I love Io.
Gotta.
I love Io. I love his defense, man.
And I'll tell you what, he's a coach's guy too. I mean,
100%.
Every coach that has ever coached Iowa, I'd be willing to bet. I obviously know Billy Donovan pretty well. Have interviewed Brad Underwood about Io this season. I interviewed him earlier in the season about him. Like, it just can't speak more highly of him in terms of work ethic, learning habits, being outgoing, inquisitive, eager to learn. And just like, I mean, and he's obviously very skilled too. He's not like just a gym rat type of guy.
Yeah.
The fact that he's come in and been an above average NBA defender, taken on opposing teams' best perimeter scorers, and been as efficient as he's been on the offensive end, it's just unbelievable. It's a total testament to him.
So with all the injuries that the Bulls have had encountered this year, and Billy Donovan kind of alluded to it in one of his press conferences earlier last week about their defense and struggling defensively. They went from, top 5 in the NBA to now I think 24th, I want to say, around that number. What do you contribute that to from what you've seen, Rob, and where do you think that they need to make the most improvements on them?
Yeah, I think Billy doesn't want to attribute it to this. Nobody in the Bulls should attribute it to this. They're missing all their best defenders, I mean, that hurts, right?
Agree.
Alex misses 13 games in a row.
Right.
Lonzo Ball, missed 7 of those 13 games where they dropped from. I think they've been 24th in defense going to the Cavs game over the last 15 games or whatever, and that dropped them from 9th on the season. And they had been a top 5 or top 10 group all year to now, they're getting close to 20. I think they were 19th the last time I checked, which was yesterday.
Okay.
So that, I mean, it's brutal. I attribute some of it to Caruso being out, Lonzo being out, Javonte Green, sneakily important defensive energy guy, Derek Jones Jr., sneakily important defensive energy guy. I attribute some of it to that. Some of it is, and the Bulls players, and Billy will be the first to say this, lapses in concentration, lapses in focus, lapses in competitiveness. They've been near the bottom of the league in fast break points allowed. Transition defense is a really tenuous thing. If you're not sharp, if you're not on top of stuff, that can slip pretty easily. And I hate to keep giving them the out of tying it back to guys out, but Alex Caruso is like a complete coach on the floor. Like, you see, even him last night not having his best game, just completely transformed the activity that they were playing with and the organization that they were playing with. So,
100%.
So I think there's stuff that that is a negative and attributable to lapses in focus, lapses in concentration, playing a lot of good teams. That doesn't help either. But really, until I see this group close to fully healthy again and the defensive stuff persists, I think I got to chalk the majority of it up to how shorthanded they are. Now, if Caruso comes back and he's back, and Javonte eventually comes back, and Lonzo in a month or two comes back, and they're still having the same defensive issues even with all those guys back, that's a major problem. But for me, I think most of it is the shorthanded stuff.
Agree. So do me a huge favor. This is a big one for you. This is a big one.
Oh, boy.
Can you please talk the Bulls bandwagoners off from jumping off the bandwagon right now? Because I've had a lot of people look forward to hearing you and seeing you on with us tonight, and want to know what your thoughts on about them, the Bulls, and how bad about how badly they got beat by Brooklyn, how badly they got beat by the Warriors, and then when they went down to Memphis, not playing too well down there either without Zach. But please give us some inspirational thoughts from you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have the inspiration or inspirational speech in me or anything like that. But it's a 4-game losing streak. I think the reason it hurts so much for Bulls fans is because of how great the season had been so far. Every team goes through stretches like this. Now, do they get punked on national TV 3 games in a row? Does every team go through that? Not necessarily. They got beat pretty bad. They were shorthanded for those games, and as much as I'm willing to attribute a lot of the defensive stuff to being shorthanded, I don't think any one or combination of the players that the Bulls had out make up, a 30-point deficit against the Nets, a 40-point deficit against the Warriors. Those teams are really, really good. They're the 1A championship contenders. I think the Bulls are 1B to 2, and I think this whole season has been about proving that they're more than that. Like, I don't think anything done in the regular season is going to prove that comes during the playoff season. So if you're going to jump off the bandwagon, I wouldn't do it until the playoffs if you've bought in enough to jump on now. But the bright side for the Bulls, this is why, as much as maybe they had a soft schedule at the very beginning of the season, maybe they, got lucky in some close games, maybe a couple things broke this way or that way. This is why it was so important for them as a team that is ascending and trying to, seeding is very important to them. Matchups are very important to them. It was very crucial that they get off to as hot a start as they did, bank as many early season wins as they did. So you can afford to have a stretch where you lose 5 of 6. And right now they're tied. They have a lead on Miami by decimal points in the win percentage category, but they're still on top of the East. They're still incredibly well positioned to be a top 4 seed and have home court in the first round, a little over the halfway point through the season. So, I'm not going to talk into the Bulls being a surefire championship contender, but it's not panic time. And if you were on the bandwagon before, I don't think, a 6-game stretch when they were missing half the team is enough to completely jump off.
I think from an outside perspective, the reason it would concern me just numerically is there's a 4-game difference between the 1 seed and the 7 seed. Yeah. So I think you look at how tight the Eastern Conference is and how competitive it is. First of all, it's very impressive that the Bulls are where they are, but it's a quick reality check that if we continue to do this for 4 more games, the Bulls could very realistically drop out of home court advantage. So I think that, just given the refreshing parity there is in the NBA right now, especially in the East, I think that's where a lot of the concern comes from.
Yeah, that's true. I am looking at it. Really the concern is 2.5 away from 6th, and then you're on the play-in. Yeah. You're on the play-in.
Right.
I would not be too concerned about the Charlotte, Washington, Boston, Toronto tier catching up, but man, Philly looming there at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. I think if I'm talking a bandwagoner who wants to jump off the bandwagon off the ledge, I would say Zach's not going to be the fortunate thing too. Again, this 3-game road trip, they're going to be without Zach, but 2 of them are Orlando, Oklahoma City. Now, if you lose one of those 2 games, I'm a little bit more than a little concerned because these are wins that they need to bank. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I still think those early season wins that they banked have put them in a decent position right now. I'd rather be where they're at than fighting an uphill battle right now. So just about maintaining them as long as they can.
I would venture to say that 2, 4, 6 out of their next 7 games are winnable games.
Mm-hmm. Let me look at the schedule. Yeah, well, Bucks. I'm not picking them in that game.
No, I'm not picking them in that game either.
Orlando, Oklahoma City, Toronto, San Antonio, Portland at home without Dame. Yeah, I mean, they really could go on a little bit of a run there and right the ship. But that opportunity has to be taken with the same kind of focus that you would take on a stretch against a bunch of contending teams. So yeah, we'll see what they're able to do. The one thing is that there's a lot of kind of back and forth on the road, 2 on the road, then back home, then in San Antonio, then back home again. So you got to battle the wear and tear there. But other than that, I think there's an opportunity for sure.
So we're always asking you questions, and it's kind of weird that I'm going to be the one asking you this and not MJ, but we're always asking you the questions about the Chicago Bulls. What are your thoughts on the Western Conference? Who do you think's the pretenders? Who do you think are the contenders out there? Who
are the pretenders in the Western Conference?
Yes.
I like that. I like that question. Well, I mean, the Lakers don't even count in this discussion anymore, do they? They're so out of it. I don't know. I see the West kind of similarly as the East in terms of just how competitive it is at the top. Utah, man, I picked them to make the finals. I think on
you did on our show. I remember that
you did.
They look like sup.
Okay.
I'm not happy with myself about that pick anymore because of all the teams in the top 6, other than Denver, who needs to get healthy, of all the teams in the top 6, they look the least contendery to me right now. It shows you how much things can change, I guess. 100%. Dallas has really surprised me yesterday, the way they've been defending. Are they a contender? I'm not sure. That roster is a little limited. No, I think it's Phoenix and Golden State tier of their own. I love Memphis. I love what Memphis is doing. They're a really fun team. One of those 1 move away teams if they want to get aggressive at the deadline, though I don't think they will. So yeah, it's Phoenix and Golden State to me, although Golden State before that Chicago game was in a little swoon of their own. So,
Yeah.
But they have such a track record. They just got Clay back. Like I'm not too worried about that.
My question, Rob, is, and this is going to sound very biased coming from somebody that you all know likes Golden State, but I really am just curious about this. Phoenix is 34-9.
Mm-hmm.
What about that team is actually different from their team last year?
Does anything have to be? They made the finals last year.
Right, but my point is...
They were 2 games away from winning the title.
Correct. My point is everybody in the Western Conference around them is at least the same or better.
Yes.
And you've got, hypothetically, we don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie. I'm assuming he still won't play at home.
Yeah. It's hard to assume anything other than that because he doesn't seem,
right.
He seems pretty steadfast, and I don't see the mandate's going to change anytime soon. So
right. But I'm just curious if you think they are legit, as in they can get over the hump they weren't able to get over last year. Like, would you pick them to make the finals? Would you pick them to win the finals? Or are they still just kind of, I mean, obviously I don't want to say like a regular season team because they made it to the finals, but once they went up against a dominant player like Giannis.
Yeah, I think you saying how different are they from last year, I think that makes the case that they're a contender because they won the West last year, Okay. I don't know, and I know that, but there was a trail of injuries, obviously, to get to that. I think you make that argument for any postseason. You could certainly make it for Milwaukee's run. Right. I don't see. I see them in the Warriors as in a tier of their own because they're proven. They have that track record from last season. It's largely the same group. They've got a lot of young guys that are improving. Like I think Ayton has had a good year. Bridges has, he's one of my favorite defensive players to watch. Chris Paul hasn't really slowed down. I mean, he's almost an MVP candidate at this point. So yeah, I don't see any reason to nudge them off. And I think when you win your conference and are 2 wins away from winning the title, you have to, be knocked off of that mantle to me. Now I think Golden State, I have absolutely no idea who I'd pick between them going into a series. I might trust Golden State's experience a little bit more. I might trust that synergy a little bit more. Still getting a body of work on Clay. They've split their first 2 this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if that's the question,
it really is super even.
Because that's the thing. Like, am I willing? Like, it's easier for me to stack up in my mind Phoenix against a team like Utah because they were both in the thick of things last year, and you saw how each team kind of fared.
Right.
Golden State is this, as much as they're a known commodity because they have this track record. Like this group, I have an enormous amount of implicit faith in them, but I just don't. The ceiling, what it looks like in the playoffs, I don't know if they're going to be the buzzsaw again or if they're just going to be really, really good, but it's still a 7-game series against a team like Phoenix. I don't know.
Both times Golden State's played the Suns, Golden State's won.
No,
Phoenix
they lost.
Yeah, Phoenix got one.
They lost one.
Did they?
They did.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it in my dorm room with a bunk bed. And I was sad.
They were saying that's one of my favorite NBA Twitter bits of the season. They were saying,
"Oh no, you're right. They did get one."
That they put Stephen McAlcatraz. One of my
that's
pretty good.
Yeah, because they matched their minutes, which I thought was, and a lot of teams have actually started doing that more now.
Mm-hmm.
At least that was the first time I saw it pointed out. I'm sure it happened way more, but it was the first time I saw it pointed out on a broadcast, and then everybody seems to be pointing it out everywhere now. But yeah. That was. That was an incredible performance because they made Curry look bad.
And and that was at the point he was like really playing incredibly well at that point in the season. If I remember, he's obviously had a little bit of a slump that he's been in recently, but so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just the most I can assess the Western Conference is that those are clearly the 2 best teams to me. If they meet in the Western Conference Finals, well, first of all, I hope they meet in the Western Conference Finals because they're the 2 best teams, and they both the level of basketball would just be of such a high quality. Like those are incredible, just high quality basketball teams. I don't know how to differentiate between the 2 of them at this point. I just don't.
Chris Paul versus Curry would be awesome to watch.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Have we gotten that in a playoff series before?
Was there a Warriors Clippers series?
I think there was. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was.
Wasn't that like 2013 I think the first time the Warriors went on a playoff run, it was 2013 or 2014. Because I think that wasn't that the Clippers 1 seed lost to the Warriors?
Well, the Warriors. I remember the first playoff run the Warriors went on. They beat the Nuggets in the first round, and then lost to the Spurs. Right?
Yes.
Let me find this.
But there was.
Yeah. Let me see this.
There was something, and then I want to say that viral clip of Curry crossing over Chris Paul is in the playoffs.
They're 9-9 in the playoff. Well, no, that might be their overall. I don't think that's head-to-head. Oh, that's a good question, actually.
Oh, you know what? It was in the first round. Oh no, that wasn't Chris Paul wasn't there yet though. Or wait, what am I looking at here? 2019. What? Yes. So that was before Chris Paul got there. There was a Clippers Warriors in 2019. I was looking for Clippers Warriors playoffs because of Chris Paul's time there.
I gotta give
here's the real answer if we're talking Curry, Paul, and I'm sorry if you guys mentioned this while I was on my phone. I wasn't paying attention. Is Rockets Warriors 2018?
Oh,
Chris Paul gets
okay.
The series swing.
Yes, and completely.
That's the real.
Changed the outcome with the Rockets because I think the Rockets had the potential to win the NBA Finals that year.
Well, they were the second best team that year.
They were so good.
That was the finals. That was the finals for sure.
I make no comment.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, I totally forgot Chris Paul was on the Rockets. That was a blip. I'm sure, Rob, you've seen this. There's a screenshot of like the last time Klay Thompson touched a basketball court. All of the people that were in different jerseys. Like, wasn't Russ still in OKC or something last time?
That trade happened for the 2019-20 season. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how much the NBA has changed in the last 900 days or whatever.
The world. I mean, COVID didn't exist for another 10 months or 8 months. Crazy.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, hey, real quick, guys. So they're 9-9 versus each other in the playoffs. This website's pretty awesome. Land of Basketball. I'll give you guys credit. This is a pretty sweet little website because it gives a comp between them in the playoffs and in regular season. It's pretty cool.
That's actually really cool. I like that. So Rob, the other thing I want before we let you go is you mentioned Chris Paul was an MVP candidate. So I want to hear your top 5 MVP candidates.
Oh no.
Right now, because this is where Bruce and I normally disagree the most about basketball. Because he'd throw LeBron up there right now, Bruce.
No, I would not.
Yes, he would.
No, I would not.
So the Durant injury makes it complicated. No, I can't go look at numbers. I haven't looked at the numbers of a lot of these guys lately, but that doesn't really matter as much.
Love it.
It's a lot of competition, man. It's so easy to default to. It was so easy to default to Curry earlier in the season, but with the slump, with the team downturn a little bit,
it's wide open right now.
I would love to say Jokic, man.
Yes.
I wish I had the take in me. I really wish I did.
What stops you?
The 6th seed. But that's the thing. So the 6th seed, the being, I don't know what the record is as of today, but only a couple games over 500. That is what is stopping me. But then I look at the roster around him, and I'm like, the fact that this team
shouldn't be a 6th seed.
Screw it, Jokic. I'm taking him. He's I really think on a night in night out basis, he might be the best player in the NBA. Like really,
wow,
durable. Makes this roster that we all agree is not a roster that should be above the playing for in the West right now. Makes everybody better. I think his defensive deficiencies they definitely exist. They also get by his detractors, I think, get a little bit overblown. I think he's gotten better. It's obviously not great. But then you got to put Embiid in the conversation. I'd like to have a top 5.
Giannis even still.
I'd like to have a top 5 of Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Steph, and Chris Paul. And I would like to not put them in order. Those would be my 5. And then DeRozan, LeBron, I think are right on the outside of that.
Fair. And I have one more. Go ahead, MJ.
I might have the same addition as Bruce. I'm not sure. My addition would be John Morant.
Oh man!
Oh yes, I would actually put him in the top 5.
I would. Richie's trying to get me started on Luka, which is a bad
Luka,
idea.
maybe.
Yeah, they're coming on. They're coming on.
But my two that I think are not getting enough discussion are Ja, and then at a bigger level, Giannis. Because I feel like after Giannis won back-to-back
Yeah.
MVPs, people just forgot and
Well, it's
forgot
fatigue.
that
It's fatigue. It's why
Right,
Bill
but he's
Belichick didn't win
averaging-
Coach of the Year every year. You know, it's like
right. But he's averaging 29, 11, 6, a steal, and a block.
yeah, man. And when that team is fully healthy, I saw a
ridiculous.
stat the other day. When Middleton, Giannis, and Drew play, they're like 17-3 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, they just need to get healthy, and they're
Right.
You know, they're probably my East favorite.
And I don't know. that's who knows? Maybe that's the Wisconsin faith.
No,
in me
he's got
coming
he's
out,
really
but
he's really got a case.
Yes.
and I just feel like we're kind of, like you said, we're kind of numb to those numbers because that's not normal. And then John Moran is just so
Dude,
young
John
and
Morant
exciting,
is
and
awesome. And
he's the heart of that team.
He's a Russell Westbrook type, like when Westbrook was younger, just playing
Like, he
that,
can
that
shoot.
anger
I
and passion. And just
I see
like,
Rose more than Russ.
really, that's interesting.
I agree.
I mean, I shouldn't. Whoa, I actually shouldn't do that. I shouldn't compare anybody to Rose as a Chicago Bulls writer. I shouldn't. I'm gonna get in
I'm
trouble.
gonna clip that and put that on
You're like-
Twitter now.
No.
Nope.
I mean, he's outstanding.
Dude, hey, but that's awesome. That's a compliment, though, regardless of that. I mean, shit.
Well, but that would be the foundation of his MVP case if he were to have one. I think he's in that 5 to 10 range, but they'd probably have to have the best record in the West, I think, for him to legit have a chance.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
I
But
know, yeah.
all right, so I got a curveball before we let Rob Schaefer go for.
Okay, I got a curveball for
Sports
MJ
Chicago.
before I go, so you go first.
All right, my
boy.
curveball is this. All right, who do you got this weekend in NFL playoffs?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask MJ. Well, I was going to ask. All right, so what are the games? Niners, Packers.
Niners, Packers.
I'm going Packers.
Yep.
That'd be a close game though, because you can run on Green Bay. No offense, MJ, and I think
no, amen to that.
Our
San Francisco will do it. But Jimmy G is going to throw like two. I think he's going to throw two of the most mind-numbing picks you ever see in the cold weather.
Cincinnati.
He's got a shoulder injury, a thumb injury, and he's
There's just
They
no.
can't grip the ball in
Right.
negative -5-degree weather with a messed up. Yeah, no.
You know, you might see the Mac Jones game. You might just throw it twice.
Right.
But they clearly don't want to do that.
Rob, just to let you know, our producer just said in our ears about Jimmy G. He's so good looking.
He really is. He really is. See, this is actually, I love talking NFL. I love talking baseball because I'm not a reporter. I don't have to have all the informed takes. I can just
You're a fan.
I can just shoot from the hip. I love it.
Yeah, 100%.
What are the other games?
Cincinnati, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Okay.
I love Joey B though. God,
Dude,
love
I know that kid. I say kid. I love his answer when they're like, "What are the glasses?" He's like, "I just think they're cool." Oh, that was great.
Is Henry's back right for this game?
For this game, he is.
Yes, I believe so.
That's another guy. That's another thing with Cincinnati. And it's similar to the Jimmy G thing. It's been a great story. They've come a long way, but I just trust Zach Taylor will screw it up in the same way I trust that
Fair.
Jimmy will screw it up for San Francisco.
Derrick Henry's still technically on IR, but I think he's expected / it's still possible they activate him before Sunday.
Okay, he would kind of be the swing piece. I'd like to, if he's playing, I'd pick Tennessee. If not,
Fair, I agree.
I still might pick Tennessee.
I still might.
Yeah. All right. So what are the other games? Kansas City, Buffalo.
Kansas City,
Man.
Buffalo.
Damn.
Dude, I know that was.
I'm taking. I'll take Buffalo.
Let's
I'll
go,
take
my
Buffalo.
dog.
Dude, Josh Allen's got some kind of glow about him right now.
That's Bruce's Super Bowl pick.
That's why the Bills are my Super Bowl pick.
And I don't know if you see this. So I'm from Connecticut originally. I'm a diehard Giants fan.
Oh,
I don't usually
That's
record
unfortunate for
Ooh,
you.
I don't usually record things in front of this. I want the Joe
man.
Shane, Brian Dable package so bad. I want it so bad.
Brian Dable, really?
I got my mindset on it. I watched that game against. Well, I didn't watch the game against the Patriots. I watched the highlights because the Bulls were playing at the same time. If my boss is watching, but I watched that game. I was like, this guy is just a master. He looks cool. I love everything about him. But no, I really want Shane, the GM guy, and then I'll take whoever he deems worthy.
At least the Giants are interviewing GMs first and not just coaches first.
And not going straight to head coach.
I don't know. We were gonna have like one of your peers, I guess, Cam Ellis on.
Yeah, love
tonight
Cam.
too. But he had a situation that he had to attend to. But But man, I was gonna ask Cam. I'm like, what the hell's going on in Lake Forest?
Dude, you got it. Well, that's my thing. And the Giants and the Bears are very similar in
Yeah.
terms of the way their ownership is viewed, like very family oriented, traditional need to change
Very
everything
bad.
about what they do organizationally to even have a hope of success. And with the thing that I like about what the Giants have done, I don't know if I trust them to fully execute it, but the way that they're handling this search is how I wish the Bears would handle it, where it's hire the GM first, and as a part of the pitch of the job, be like, we are giving you complete control. We're giving you the keys. Hire everyone you want to hire. We're the Bears, we're the Giants, whoever. Like, we have all the resources in the world. But you want like a program builder type person. And mucking up the order to me kind of screws with that. So I wish the Bears would do that too. We're off topic now. What's
sorry.
What's the
last one? Rams, Buccaneers.
Bucks.
Okay, fair enough.
Bucks, and Jared Goff laughs maniacally watching at home. He was dragged through the mud for years. He's like, can't go to the Super Bowl without me, McVay. You know,
Love it.
those are complete, like, no information behind any of those picks at all, except for the Packers one. Because I got a lot of family up in Milwaukee, so I'm decently informed on the Packers. They've also got two. I went to Northwestern. They got two of my guys on the defensive line, Tyler Lancaster and Dean Lowry. So, you know, I shouldn't say Chicago, but I do have some type of an affinity for Green Bay. I watch probably more of them than any other team other than the Giants, unfortunately.
See, I knew there was a reason I liked Rob.
Right.
And Lambeau is the field that I've been to more than any other
That's awesome.
Football stadium, and it's just amazing. And the entire game day experience. You go tailgate. It's just amazing. It's amazing up there, and it's at its best when it's like 5 degrees.
You know what's great about this?
Like our field's in the middle of nowhere.
Can't get out. Takes like 5 hours to get out of that shit. Oh, but anyway, what I feel great about right now is the fact that I have somebody else that's in some kind of misery that I'm in as well.
Dude. But dude, the Giants are in a way worse spot than the Bears.
100%.
These guys have the quarterback, you know, or at least a hope and a prayer at the quarterback. Like,
hey, Mike Glennon, baby, we've both had him start it for our respective teams.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! You know what was so funny?
Long neck, Mike Glennon.
You know what's so funny too about that game? First of all, that game is the most disenchanted I've ever been as a Giants fan because, oh my god, I've watched this Bears dumpster fire all season, and we're this much worse than the Bears. Like that's
no,
as it gets. That's as bad as it gets. And what's so funny from the Bears side, I'm watching like all my Bears fan friends, people in media reacting to it. The Bears can't even enjoy one win because Mike Glennon being so terrible is a reminder that they gave Mike Glennon
that much money. Yes.
I was going to say, I saw a post after that game. I saw a post that was like, this is how much money Mike Glennon has made in the NFL.
Oh, we're doing the neck thing?
Per start. Well, the neck would be.
I will never in my life, and I think you guys would agree, knock a backup quarterback who just gets paid.
Who is it? Chase Daniel?
Chase Daniel. Matt Flynn, legend at the bank.
Yes.
Matt Flynn, absolute legend. It extends to other sports. Cristiano Felicio, people made the jokes for 4 years. I think he's a legend. All power to him.
Yeah.
Felicio. Oh my god, I totally forgot about Felicio.
Now I think he's averaging a double in Germany right now. Felicio living his best life.
Not a surprise.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Those are great human interest stories for me. I don't love it when it's happening to my football team, but
of course not. But that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Well, Rob, much appreciated. As always, you bring the professionalism while we bring the absolute bullshit. Rob Schaefer from NBC Sports Chicago Bulls beat guy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right. Good to see y'all.
Appreciate
Thank you, Rob.
Oh man. Like I don't like we were just off the rails without you, buddy.
Yeah, that
I was like, how do I intro this? Hey.
Honestly, I am interested to go back and watch that.
Oh God, like
because I'm curious what you Richie's saying no.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was just like I didn't know if I should look at the camera, look at my laptop. I didn't know what I was doing. It was just me like shooting from the hip, like Rob actually just said. And
oh my gosh,
I had no idea what the hell was going on. Anyway, Richie, run the commercial. Fuck. Oh, really?
Peoria's playing tonight in the heart of Illinois. taking flight. Peoria's playing the night. Now I can't shake Peoria off my mind. Peoria plays for life.
It's like, holy shit, we're back.
So, a fun fact, I actually had that song stuck in my head at work the other day,
Oh no.
and I was just walking around like humming Peoria, like just while I'm walking around. And thankfully nobody noticed because they would have looked at me like I was even crazier than I already am.
Oh,
But it was just funny because I got it was actually today. No, it was today because I got the email from Mackenzie, and I was just like Peoria.
oh my gosh.
I just walked around mumbling.
Hey, you know what though? But the weekend's right around the corner. Oh, that was a terrible transition. And there are plenty of things going on in Central Illinois to keep you and the family busy, whether you're just visiting or you call the heart of Illinois home. Discover Peoria. The Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau have dropped us some information about a few weekly discoveries you won't want to miss. Giving Suits, your donation drive. Interesting. The Guy's Secret is giving back to the community with its Giving Suits You clothing drive. From now until January 31st, bring your gently used professional attire to That Guy's Secret in Northwoods Mall, one of our fantastic reparation? Yeah, members. Excuse me. Professional clothing for all genders is needed, and all items received will be donated to the Dream Center Peoria. Dude, this is, I swear it's pop.
So I actually know the guy who runs the Dream Center.
Really?
Yes, I do. So that is, I will give a personal promotion of that one. I know the guy who runs the Dream Center. He looks like Maui from Moana.
Wow.
Yes, like, and he goes by Maui. Cool. That is his nickname.
It's actually pretty badass. Well, hello.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so amen to that one. Number 2, we have Wine and Cheese Under the Stars with the Peoria Riverfront Museum. Enjoy an evening of delicious food, wine, and the latest news from space. Peoria Riverfront Museum's newly updated planetarium on Saturday, January 22nd at 7 p.m. Each guest will receive an individual charcuterie box featuring nice cheese, fruits, nuts, and more from Canterbury Creations, plus up to 3 glasses of wine, which I know Bruce would enjoy. During the event, the museum will share the latest science on our very own star. Apparently, they have their own star, the sun, and updates from the Parker Solar Probe and other space telescopes. Fun fact for you, Bruce. In May, the museum unveiled the world's most advanced planetarium system. It features 3D models and instant real-time access to an extensive cloud of astronomy and science databases from NASA and NOAA to universities and planetariums worldwide, including the latest planetarium shows. Tickets for museum members are $45 and tickets for the public are $55. Worth it if you drink all 3 glasses of wine.
Truth. So, you know how, I mean, I love the wine idea. I think that's a great idea. However, I think Richie would love the nuts and probing idea. All right. In 2022, Illinois, why do I get the shit one? Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association Convention. Just kidding, guys. Just so you know, just kidding. Didn't mean anything bad by it. This week, Discovery Peoria is excited to welcome the 2022 Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association Convention at the Peoria Civic Center. The convention is in town the next few days, and it's amazing to be able to welcome them to our downtown area and show off our communities. Having conventions like the Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association in town is crucial because this event alone brings in $647,069 nice dollars in direct economic impact, which creates $48,969 nice in local taxes. In the next coming weeks, our area is excited to welcome other big conventions like the Illinois Music Education Association for their 2022 Illinois Music Education Conference, also at the Peoria Civic Center. And I'm sure we'll have something to read about that.
Absolutely. So, Bruce, before we get into football, I have one very quick question for you that is not football, that is not basketball. Major League Players Association and the union are supposed to meet on Monday. Are you worried? It's January 20th. We're getting towards training camp, spring training time. I said training camp because I've been talking about football.
Training camp, spring training time.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Getting close
Whatever.
to reporting. Pitchers and catchers should be
People should
reporting
know.
soon.
Shit.
Do we care? Are we worried? Talk to me. Richie's
do-
not worried.
Richie's not. Oh wait, Richie's not worried. Is that, or is he? Or I think he says he doesn't really care. I think that's the main thing.
No, he cares. He cares about baseball. I don't think he's worried.
I'm not worried yet. I'm not worried
Yeah.
yet. I think that we have until I would say Valentine's Day, around Valentine's Day, for a deadline for me personally to be worried, because at that point you're still able to. I mean, that's usually a time frame in which pitchers and catchers report. No, I'm not worried about it until it gets to that point. But if the owners do not bring a legit fucking contract offer to the table, one where that the Players Association doesn't just walk away from, and mind you, I think the Players Association should also have a response or a counter offer on the table as well, because I don't know if you heard about their first interaction. It was just the owners that gave their offer. The Players Association looked at it and it was like, nope, all right, we're done, we're out. No counter offer, no nothing. So
they had what they wanted, they didn't get it, and they just walked out.
They just walked out. So basically it's yeah, man, I'm not going to be worried though until okay. So if I had a meter of how worried I am out of a 1 to 10, 10 being like no way in hell the season starts on time, to 1 being like, yay, everyone's going to be hunky dory and be okay. I'm at like a 2 to 2.5 right now, just because
so we're here. Yeah, we're not up here. Yeah, we're here
because there was no response. There was no counter offer.
But isn't their unwillingness to negotiate concerning? Like more than
Players
just
Association?
a little bit concerning?
Yeah, 100% it is. That's why I'm saying. Like, that's why it's annoying that like you're representing hundreds of players who want to be paid and play. They
under, honestly,
at this point under. but yeah, no, I just think that they should be it could be better. It'll be fine. At this point, I think it's gonna be fine. But again, my meter will go up to like a 7, 8 when we go to around early February.
Okay, interesting.
So give me 2 weeks.
2 weeks and we'll be concerned. Got it. So we'll save the Packers for last.
Wait, hold on. I like this. Hold on.
What?
I like that.
Oh,
I had to share that. I apologize for just jumping in producing right there, Richie. My bad.
No, it's fine.
But
for the game of baseball, for the marketing of baseball, let me rephrase. For the marketing of baseball, yes. For the baseball purist in me, no.
Right. I agree 100%.
If I had to make a hardcore decision, I would say yes.
I think it's going to happen. I think
that's why I'm like, I'm just going to get used to it. I'm going to go for it.
It's going to happen.
Why not? It's the same thing like an extra season in the NFL, the extra playoff team. I don't really like it, but it's here and they're making money off of it. So it's going to stay and I'm going to just accept it and move on.
I would have liked it 4 to 5 years ago when the Cubs were good with that team and you could have Schwarber in the lineup every day. But yeah, no, honestly, and you got to look at it from this perspective too. Like you said, selling tickets and all that. I agree 100%. Yeah. But I also think that this is a roadmap for the players and the Players Association to ask for a higher pay, because what gets you paid in Major League Baseball? Usually offense. It's not defense. It's offense. It's
right.
That's what puts people's asses in seats.
Yeah, so, there are very few players in baseball that get paid as defensive specialists. That's not really a thing. No. You're expected to be good at defense.
Exactly. So to answer that question,
the only way, yeah,
it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I agree.
But do I like it?
No. I mean, I'm all right with it. Like I said,
I'm indifferent. I'm just fair.
Yeah,
indifferent.
Yeah, it is what it is.
All right, let's do
NFL playoffs.
Quick breakdown. How did you do last
divisional
week?
Round. How did we do last week? I think we did okay. My 49ers prediction
was
spot on.
Dude, I actually,
by the way,
that was great.
My Patriots prediction, trash.
Dude,
so it is what it is.
so hey, it works out because my Bills prediction, awesome. My
amazing.
Cowboys prediction, fucking terrible. But thank God I showed you guys the parlay. I think I sent you guys the parlay that I did last weekend.
Yes.
And I jumped out right as soon as that first drive from San Francisco. I was like, nope, out. I still made money, so I was good. Unbelievable. But anyway, all right. So let's go. Let's go for this week, baby.
So we're gonna start Cincy versus Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Let's go.
Cincinnati. Cincinnati versus Cincinnati.
Y'all been to Cincinnati?
Tennessee favored by 3.5 at home.
We should do a whole show.
And over under is a little high in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I think, and Richie disagrees with me here, and I know that, and it's fine because I don't care. I think you're looking at an inexperienced playoff team in the Bengals. Kind of what Rob was talking about earlier. I kind of trust Zach Taylor still to screw up. Tennessee won even without Derrick Henry.
Yes.
They're a experienced playoff team. They've got an experienced quarterback, an experienced coach, and kind of like where the Ravens don't inherently need, obviously it's great if the Ravens had J.K. Dobbins this year. And I'm not comparing J.K. Dobbins to Derrick Henry, so don't freak out. But it's great if you have your top guys. But the Ravens, the Titans, they just have such good schemes, such good systems that you can run with Devontae Freeman instead of Derrick Henry. So obviously it'd be great if Henry's back, but if he's not, I think they'll be just fine. And I think they're an overall better football team. Is Cincinnati's offense better? Yes, Sherlock Holmes, great observation. But that's not the only thing that is important here.
All right, that's fair. And I'm with you on Tennessee winning and Tennessee covering. But I think this is in a larger, bigger picture perspective. I think this game is a huge game for the Bengals. As you already alluded to, MJ, they are young, inexperienced quarterback, young, generally overall inexperienced team. They haven't won a playoff game. Just before this, this past week, that was their first playoff win since 1992, one of those two. I think it was 92. So,
yes, it was. They hadn't won a playoff game since before cell phones were invented, because nobody had ever sent a text about the Cincinnati Bengals winning a playoff game.
Right. So that being said, I think from a bigger picture perspective, I think this is a huge game for Joe Burrow, and
Gerbo.
Gerbil. It's a huge game for him and Jamar Chase. Like it's going to be, but you know what though? I love it. I think it's a great game for them, great learning opportunity. And I think that we're going to see this team plenty of times in the playoffs in the next 5 years, 5 to 8 years.
Quick side note.
This
is something I saw on Twitter. Just taking a look at the quarterbacks that are going to be in the AFC for an extended period of time.
Ooh, I like this.
You've got Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Mac
Jones.
Are just
Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
yeah.
Lamar Jackson. I know I'm forgetting Josh Allen, and then
just in that conference,
pretty much
that division alone.
Exactly, and you know where I'm going with this. There is no way on God's green earth that Aaron Rodgers wants to go to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to touch.
Because right now he's facing Jared Goff, the quarterback carousel in Chicago, and Kirk. I choke more than Richie Cousins. Oh my God. Do you really think that he's gonna want to go face Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Derek Carr every single year?
This, my friend, might be the best view, best statement, best non-homer, most logical thing that I've ever heard come out of your mouth. And I'm not.
Thank you.
Because I mean, shit. If I were him, who am I worrying about right now? Brady. Okay.
No way.
What? Brady.
You don't have to worry until the championship round.
Right. You're in the freaking. Oh, here's another crazy thing, by the way. So if the Packers don't win a Super Bowl this year, I'm sure you heard the stat. They have the most wins by a team in a 3-year span to not win a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah.
That's that. I didn't know that. I think that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, because the only other ones
freaking
were
good.
Shanahan right when he started in San Francisco. Well, no, that's not true because Shanahan didn't win a
Wait, who was the Bills
Super
coach
Bowl.
back in the early '90s? I'm sure that was he had to have been one of them.
No, but that's not well.
Is that one of them? Because he
Okay,
went 3
that
straight
it's
years
a
to the Super
different
Bowl.
stat, but yeah, then yeah.
So, but I don't know. But anyway, so that was just I thought that was it. Anyway, to go back to your
I mean,
point
yeah.
though. Let's go back to your
But yeah,
point though, dude. I think
that was just a sidetrack since we were talking about Joe Burrow. Like
no, it's great.
those are a lot of quarterbacks that I would not want to have to face.
No.
And even if you look at the NFC right now, like Rodgers, if he wanted to, would outlast Tom Brady. And then you're looking at who that he has to face
Wow, Richie.
every single year. Richie, stop talking.
Sometimes I wish he would like jump on just to like I think he's a closet Tom Brady fan.
It's not closeted. It's public. Yeah. It says in our ears. I love Tom Brady. Anyway,
Fair.
move on to the next game.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, tangenting.
Well, we'll save that one for last. I have an article coming out tomorrow, so I cannot speak. All I have to say is this game is not as close as the line suggests.
So this is this one actually, as crazy as it sounds, was so I think I'm overthinking it, but the Rams, and correct me if I'm wrong, MJ, missing a lot of their defensive backs. They still have a very formidable front seven.
Their safety group is hurting the most.
Correct. And by the way, Weddle played pretty freaking well last week. Anyway,
yeah, he did.
And guy was just like, you know,
and he was immediately because I believe I say David Long was wearing the green dot. But Eric Weddle was the number 2 guy. He was the other guy on defense with a green dot.
That's interesting.
On his first day back.
Was it 2 years? 2 years ago he retired.
He retired after the 2019 season.
So it's
2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
No,
yeah.
2.
Sorry,
two full
19,
seasons.
20 season. Okay.
Yes. So
crazy. Incredible that he stayed in that shape to be able to participate in an NFL playoff game. That's awesome.
Without having full participation in a practice either.
It's incredible. So kudos to that dude. Yeah, that's awesome. But so not overthinking, going to go with what I've already have. Tampa Bay wins, Tampa Bay covers.
As Richie says, Tom Brady.
Yeah. All right, next one.
This is I have not been as excited for this game. Like there are a few games I've been this excited for in a long time. Because these are the clear 2 best quarterbacks in the AFC. 2 of the best 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Agree.
2 of the best offenses we've seen in a long
Allen slanging and banging.
Josh Allen is throwing touchdown passes when he doesn't even want to.
Doesn't even need. Yeah, exactly. He's trying to throw the damn ball away.
Yes, that's how good he's playing right now. And then I'm going to compare. I don't want to make this comparison because this is going to open a lot of multiple cans of worms, but I'm going to. The Kansas City Chiefs right now, in their current state, are similar to while LeBron was in Cleveland the second time. They do not have to try until the second round of the playoffs.
Agree.
The Chiefs were 4-4 to start the season.
They were 1-3. They were 1-3 in the first 4 games. They were 1-3.
Right. Yeah, so they started 1-3 and then finished as the 2 seed. They were 4-4, finished as the 2 seed.
Stupid.
They're so much better than everyone else.
Fuck you, Andy Reid. Fuck you, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
How come you could, Andy Reid? How come you couldn't have gotten Matt Nagy smarter?
Yeah, clearly it rubbed off on you too.
Yeah.
So I know this is not what Bruce is going to say, but Kansas City wins, covers. I just think. I mean, Buffalo. Who did Buffalo play last week? They played
Patriots.
They played Patriots. They played a rookie quarterback. What do rookie quarterbacks do in the playoffs? Nothing.
The New England Belichick's.
Yes, they did absolutely nothing. And I think the Bills, in a game that was so cold, so windy, all of that, nobody expected anyone to throw the ball. And Josh Allen was like, actually, my arm is just stronger than yours. So now we're throwing the football. So no comment. So that's just I'm going to say the same thing about Kansas City that people have been saying about LeBron for years. Until he doesn't make it to the finals, until the Chiefs don't make it to the Super Bowl, or until they get outscored, I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
I'm not going to go as extensive as you are because apparently I don't say wordages right. So that said, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills because I think it's Josh Allen is just going to freaking do his shit all over the field. The fact that we had pictures of Diggs again popping up this week about how he watched last year when they were in the AFC Championship, or was it the Yeah, when they watched that, I that came back up again. So I want to they're taking it to heart. I think it'll be a fun game. It'll be a good game. Bills win by field goal.
Also, did you see what was in the end zone of the Bills game?
Oh, another dildo. Yeah. That's kind of like that's kind of thing with Bills Mafia, dude.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's just
so.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go first.
I was gonna say I'll go first on this one because I know that you want to do everything you possibly can to. I don't even know what I'm just gonna say. Man, I need beer.
Yeah.
Green Bay, San Francisco. The one team. No one wants to play San Francisco right now because San Francisco has the ability to run the ball and play defense. Bottom line. That being said, it won't matter in Green Bay. It does not matter because as soon as Green Bay stacks the freaking front line, stacks the defense, brings that extra safety up against the 49ers, the Packers are going to be able to stop the run. And then guess what? Jimmy G, I'm sorry, buddy. I know there's a history there, man, but you're not going to do very well. You're not going to do well against this Packers team. I think the Packers are going to do something to freaking confuse your ass. And it's going to be some freaking run pass option. You're going to choose the pass rolled out to the right. I'm being awfully specific here. You're going to throw something stupid like Caleb Haney back in the day in 2010. And you're going to have some fucking big dude with BJ Raji fucking returning it for a touchdown.
Throw it to Jack Heflin.
There you go. Bam. So all I'm going to say is Packers win, Packers cover. I think this line should be higher. I think that, again, if the 49ers are able to run the ball, it's a different story, but I just don't think it's going to happen because I think the coaching staff in Green Bay is absolutely incredible. And I cannot believe I'm blowing this much smoke up your guys' ass right now. But all I'm going to say, though, is Packers win, Packers cover. Aaron Rodgers throws 3 touchdown passes, and it's a joke.
I need to clip that and save that for the rest of my life. Never thought you'd say so many good things about the Packers. First of all, I will reiterate what you said. The 49ers in the NFC right now are the worst matchup for the Green Bay Packers. And I'm including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not healthy. So if they were to come into the Lambeau right now, this week specifically,
this would be ideal.
They have another week to get back guys like Levante David, Sean Murphy, Bunting, stuff like that. But if they were I'm talking right now, January 20th, the 49ers are the worst matchup for the Packers, and it still doesn't matter. Because, okay, the 49ers can run the ball. Meet Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. If you want to give me any strength that the 49ers have, the Packers match it. You want to talk about a good defense? Oh, we're returning 2 all-pro defenders to the defense this week, and Jair Alexander and Zadarius Smith, who are both going to play.
Zadarius Smith scares me more than Alexander, to be honest.
And the reason Alexander doesn't inherently scare me is because you've got first-team all-rookie Eric Stokes and Rasul Douglas, who came out of nowhere and is one of the top cover corners in the league, and in zone coverage is the top rated corner in the NFL this year. So, I mean, you take any position group from top to bottom on that team, excluding special teams, because we don't talk about that here. Legitimately, special teams is the only way I see the Packers losing this football game. And it would have to be a meltdown of epic proportions for that to happen. Like even worse than Seattle in 2016 or 2014.
Ooh.
Even worse than that. Even worse than Brandon Bostic thinking he was a better choice to catch the football than Jordy Nelson.
Hold on. Hey,
like I'm talking worse than that.
So can I interject something real quick? I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I think, and while this will prove a little bit to your thoughts about DVOA. Okay, so but hear me out though. All right, so defensive DVOA right now. Pittsburgh is number 1 out of the playoffs. New Orleans number 2 out of the playoffs. Washington number 3 out of the playoffs. Rams number 4 in the playoffs, but whatever. Tampa Bay in the playoffs, but whatever. San Francisco in the playoffs, but whatever. Indianapolis 7th out of the playoffs. Bears 8th out of the playoffs. Now we go to offensive. Number 1, Green Bay in the playoffs. Kansas City, number 2 in the playoffs. Tampa in the playoffs. Tennessee in the playoffs. Bills in the playoffs. Seattle not. So basically, what I'm trying to say is defense. Just because like that old frame of mind of saying like defense wins championships. Yes, but mediocre defenses can win championships. Can win playoff
Top
games.
15 defenses win championships.
So I'm telling you right now that the Packers are fine.
Yeah.
And so anybody that wants to say, because like the argument, and this is really fucked up that I'm totally on your side with this, but the argument that so many people want to make is, oh, the 49ers can run the football and the Packers defense sucks. Shut up. It's fine.
I mean,
they'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, right. You can make that argument, but you also have one of the nose tackle with the second most pressures in the league, and the only person with more pressures than Kenny Clark is Aaron Donald.
Oh, even this here. Okay, hold on, time out. I fucked up. I was actually looking at 2020. So this is even better. Offensive DVOA again. Tampa 1, Green Bay 2, Kansas City 3, Chargers 4 out of the playoffs. San Francisco 5. That's just actually pretty impressive. Dallas 6 out of the playoffs. Seattle 7 out of the playoffs. Rams 8. New England's 9 out of the playoffs. Yeah. That's offensive.
Well,
DVOA,
so have I ever explained to you why DVOA is stupid?
Well, I've heard.
So DVOA, and I understand why people like it. DVOA has to do with efficiency. So it values efficiency on offense. It values efficiency on defense. So if you get and yes, it is important, but DVOA will say a defense who gets 2 3-and-outs and 2 drives where a team misses a field goal is better than a team who just has like 4 drives that go like 7 yards and they have to punt.
Do you want me to give you the website's definition?
Sure.
So just for defensive DVOA, I'll just say defensive. It's a system that breaks down every single NFL play since 1987 and compares a team's performance to a league baseline based on the situation in order to determine value over average.
Right. So it's a bunch of BS.
It's pretty interesting, actually.
Because so it's basically taking, you know how there's WAR in baseball?
Right. Wins above
right. It's basically doing that in a
plays.
In a completely subjective per play basis that they have no
1983
oversight or like who's deciding what the value on a given play is, who's grading. Like
I'm sure it's the outcome of the situational like
right
thing that
but
comes up.
And I understand that, but I just laugh at the people who make fun of PFF and then say DVOA is God. Because I'm like, they're the same thing, just different metrics. It's the same concept. You have somebody grading the outcome of every single play and producing a number. So it just makes me laugh. If you swear by PFF and hate DVOA, or hate DVOA and swear by PFF, either way, like they're the same thing. They're just produced into different numbers, and they have different people evaluating them.
So you know what's pretty awesome? The power success rate for the Packers, for the percentage wise, is 69%. Nice.
Nice.
But anyway, all right.
Yeah,
So
all of that
Packers
again.
win, Packers win.
Yeah, all of that to say, Packers win. I'll give them a touchdown spread.
All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
What a guy.
Oh man, dude. Another oh wow. All right. All right, we're ending it. MJ.
Oh, we're done. Okay, Bruce.
Good shit.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Peace out.